Did y'all see the Chris Rock comedy special? Did y'all see the Chris Rock comedy special? Now, I'm no fan of Chris Rock. I've never found Chris Rock particularly funny. Uh, I never have. I've never found him funny on anything that he's really done. Now he has some movies. He has some movies that he's done that I've kind of liked, but he okay, so if we don't know, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for subscribing to that channel. I'm no fan of Chris Rock. But I did get the opportunity to watch the Netflix special. I had the opportunity to watch the Netflix special. Compared to some of his other specials, I've seen Bigger and Blacker. I've seen the last special that he did. I think this was one of the weakest ones. Oh yeah, Head of State. That was fly. The Head of State was good. It was good, but Bernie Mac was in there. And I'm not trying to crap on Chris Rock. I have no issue personally with Chris Rock. Well, let me take that back. I do have an issue with Chris Rock. Chris Rock was in a room full of white men, and they just were using the N-word with the hard R like it was yesterday's news. Him being the only black man in the room. And I had an issue with that. So yeah, I do have kind of a problem with Chris Rock. And the only one who thought it was rude for them to do that was, I think, Jerry Seinfeld. He was the one who was like, y'all need to stop. And Chris Rock just sitting there with his eyes bucked. So ever since then, I just like my issue with Chris Rock was yeah, I was cool on him. But anyway, so here's the thing with the Netflix special. I'm talking about YouTube. Chris Rock was up there for about an hour. And about 45 minutes into the special, he told about 45 minutes of unfunny jokes. And personally, I think he was relying too much on the whole Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, because I will give him credit where credit is due. Chris Rock did light they asses up. Now I'm gonna try to play a little snippet of something, but I don't think I can play too much without getting striked and all that kind of stuff. And but he lit they asses up. I'm not gonna cap. He lit them up. And this was a build up. It's been building up, And some people are saying, well, why did he wait so late to respond? Why did he wait so late to respond? It's been a year. Move on. I've seen all different kind of comments when it came to this whole situation. And I feel like this. It was clearly a business and marketing strategy behind him releasing the special when he released it. Now, Chris Rock, I think the Oscars are coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm not into the Oscars, but I think the Oscars are coming up, and they just probably said, hey, let's wait. We're gonna do this special. The Oscar buzz on top of what he did to you it's a win-win. And I'm sure he's probably winning with this whole thing. I saw people saying it was great. I didn't like it. And I tend to look at myself as a stand-up comedy connoisseur. I love stand-up comedy probably more than an average person that isn't a comedian. Now, I love stand-up comedy, and I watch stand-up comedy very regularly, and I just never thought that he was it. I just never thought that he was it. But let's see. Let's get into it. And let's see. Let's see if we can get into some of this without doing too much. Now, I'm gonna give you, if you have not seen it and you want to see it, pause this video, come back to it, and then you can come back and we can have a conversation in a minute. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, we are no longer talking about the nursing stuff, but we are talking about some of the ratchet behavior going on in society. Ladies and gentlemen, this is premium black news right now I'm giving you, okay? Now, his special was called Selective Outrage. Selective Outrage, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's check this out. to see if we can hear some of what he was actually saying. Hold on. I gotta learn how to navigate this thing the right way. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Her son's, and his wife was fucking her son's friend. Okay? Now, I normally would not talk about this shit.
Chris Rock finally talks about the Will Smith Oscars slap in live comedy special Selective Outrage. Chris Rock wasted no time addressing the elephant in the room in his new Netflix special Chris Rock Selective Outrage, though he saved the best for last. During Netflix's first live event on the streaming platform, the actor and comedian alluded vaguely, at first, to the Will Smith Oscars slap that took over the world following the 2022 Oscars. My reaction to this is I totally understand Chris Rock's frustration with the situation. The slap on live TV, Will Smith overreacted. Now what he did is he gave Chris Rock and every comedian the license to joke about his personal life. Chris Rock will now have top content. He will be funny as hell.
And his wife was fucking her son's friend. Okay? Now, I normally would not talk about this shit. But for some reason, these niggas put that shit on the internet. I have no idea why two talented people would do something that fucking low down. What the fuck? We all been cheated on. Everybody in here have been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. None of us. It's like, hey.
Okay, that was funny. I'm gonna give him that one. Listen, the last 10 minutes he went crazy. It was funny. The last 10 minutes of the special, Rock went absolutely ballistic, and that's what the crowd was there for. That's what you were there for. That's what I was there for. We all, even though it was a year later, we all wanted to know what Chris Rock had to say about the Will Smith slap and about the whole situation when it came down to Will Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, we all wanted to know. We all wanted to know. And now we are getting our answer. We're getting our answer. But the whole special as a whole, it's just mid at best. I think he's done better. I've listened to way better specials from him, even though I'm not a fan of his. But just being a comedy connoisseur like I am, I still listen to it because every now and then you may get a gem. So let's continue. Let's continue.
I was sucking somebody else's dick. How did that make you feel? Why the fuck would you do that shit? She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay? Okay? And by the way, he does that shit. Everybody in the world called him a bitch. I tried to call the motherfucker and give him my condolences. He ain't pick up for me. Everybody called that man a bitch. Fucking Charlemagne called him a bitch, and the Breakfast Club called him a bitch, and the View, and the Talk, and every rapper, and fucking the Drink Champs called him a fucking bitch. Everybody called him a bitch. They called him, okay? Now, why the fuck would you do that shit? By the way, he does that shit. Everybody in the world called condolences. He ain't pick up for me. Everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, we knew this was gonna happen. And again, even looking back on that whole situation, was almost 3 years ago. Is what with the whole Will Smith and Jada thing. That's always going to be a stain on Will Smith's resume. And no matter what, him slapping Chris Rock, whether you agree with it or not, his wife disrespecting him the way that she has, uh, it's always going to be a stain on him. And it's unfortunate that a man who is that successful, who a lot of people would consider quote unquote corny, has to be disrespected like that. But once again, these will be the same men that they call on to come save the quote unquote community. that put up with the disrespect. Can you imagine being that successful, going through the BS that Will Smith had to go through? That successful, 300, 400, $500 million man, A-lister, blockbuster movies, but can come home and get disrespected in your own home by the woman that's supposed to love you and treat you with respect. Your daughter writing letters to a man who is dead because the mother is quote unquote sad about it. What kind of strike and blow to your ego must that be? What kind of blow to your ego must that be? When you can be that successful in life, when you can work that hard in life, do what you're supposed to do, put on a squeaky clean image out here in a suit, you keep your body right, you got your money right, the whole world loves you. But the woman you come home to has no respect for you. That has to be a hurtful feeling. And this is why I don't agree with what Will Smith did. I don't agree with it. You dig what I'm saying? But I understand it. But I do understand. But it was still a whole move. It was a whole move. Let's not get it twisted. He was wrong for that because he wouldn't have done that to The Rock. You dig what I'm saying? He wouldn't have done that to. He knew he could do that to Chris Rock. If The Rock or somebody of his stature or bigger would have told that joke, if 50 Cent would have told that joke, he would have sat there with his pissed off wife and laughed. And then she would have just did another red table talk. It would have been that simple. But let's keep going. Let's keep going.
They called that man a bitch. Fucking Charlemagne called him a bitch, and the Breakfast Club called him a bitch, and the View and the Talk and every rapper and fucking the drink champs called him a fucking bitch. Everybody called him a bitch. They called his wife a predator. Everybody called him a bitch. Everybody. Everybody. And who's he hit? Me. A nigga he knows he could be. That is some bitch ass shit. That's what the fuck. Okay? The fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, I thought, but besides that part, I thought the special was very mid, very average. It was nothing special, nothing to write home about. Um, but I do understand that part, and he delivered on the part that he was supposed to deliver on. He talked about the situation, which everybody was waiting for, which everybody wanted him to do. Everybody wanted him to go in. You dig what I'm saying? They all wanted him to do what he was supposed to do and talk crap about Will Smith. And apparently he told a joke, which I thought was funny. Okay. In the realm of comedy, because I am a real true to the game, stomp down fan of comedy, stand-up comedy. Okay. Well, I guess Chris Rock told a joke about Emancipation, the movie Will Smith just won an NAACP award for. And he said, I only watched the movie to watch him get beat. Hit him again, massa. Hit him again, massa. Listen, in the realm of comedy, I thought that was funny. Okay. It was a joke, ladies and gentlemen. It was a joke. He made the joke. And people have got their panties in a bunch about it. And again, like where do comedians have what they have a freedom of speech, right? They have a certain freedom to talk about the creative arts and how they see the world on stage. You dig what I'm saying? I thought it was no holds bar, but now you can't even make a joke without, I don't know, without offending somebody. But that was that whole Chris Rock ish. But I thought the special was mid at best. If you want to see him annihilate Will and Jada, hey, it's worth a watch, but only probably watch about the last 10 minutes of it. And yeah, I think I don't know. I'm good on that. I'll probably never watch it again. I'm gonna keep it real with you.